Anyway, we're here again at the Andrew Weissman Show. Thanks for tuning in. You know, at the Andrew Weissman Show, we are very versatile. You know, we've been asked to be a late night broadcast. We started out as a prime time broadcast, but now we're doing daytime, and we welcome all of our viewers. I want to encourage everybody to go online and use the hashtag #TheAWShow. And you know, we broadcasted in the past from New York, from London, from Singapore, Hong Kong. Even Greensboro, North Carolina, Connecticut, Pennsylvania. But today we're broadcasting live from Miami Beach, Florida. And of course, we hope everybody out there is staying safe and staying healthy during this shelter at home, during this quarantine, as we work through this unfortunate pandemic. Anyway, at the Andrew Weissman Show, you know, we center our whole show around an entrepreneur's lifestyle, entrepreneurship. And I think for those of you who have tuned in before, you will probably attest to the fact that you probably have learned a lot about leadership and business and fashion, food, art, all types of different topics to lead a successful life, even sports we've talked about. We've been privileged to have some great guests over the years. On the show today, we also have a very, very special guest. We're very honored and privileged to have this gentleman on the show today. You know, he's been on the show before, but it's kind of a dual hosting of the Andrew Weissman Show following an international convention. But today, it's about Marc Ashley. You know, I don't know of anybody who is more dedicated, more passionate, more committed to other people's success. And it has resulted in the success of Market America and Shop.com, and of course, his own success. But I'm excited about having a conversation with Marc. So please, everybody, welcome the President and Chief Operating Officer of Market America and Shop.com, Marc Ashley. Marc, welcome to the Andrew Weissman Show. I know my people had to talk to your people, but we were able to make it happen, and we welcome you to the show.
Well, it's a pleasure to be on here, Andrew. I think the last time I was on the show had been many years ago. So it's good to be asked to be back on the show, and it's certainly an honor and a privilege, and it's just great to be. I wish I could be with you in person, but it's great to see that your show is very versatile and where it's being able to adjust to the quarantining and people staying at home. So, so it's a pleasure to be on here, and I've really been looking forward to it. Awesome.
Well, we appreciate it, Marc. And I know you're right now at the world headquarters of Market America in your office, I believe, right?
Yeah, I am. There's not many people in the office because everyone's working remotely. Our distribution centers, you know, running at full throttle and full capacity every single day, and that's all over the world. I mentioned this before, they're the unicorn, you know, I mean, they're the superheroes out there, but we only got, you know, about a handful of employees who are in here, maybe a couple handfuls, and a handful of people, and we're spread out. But for me, it's actually nice because I do get to come into the office, and it does give me a little bit of a break, and everything. Obviously, no one's here, so everything is safe.
And we're going to get to some of that information, Marc. You've done an incredible job leading the company through this challenging time, and we've excelled in many, many aspects of the business. But we'll talk about that. Before that, of course, we are living in a historic time, you know, during this shelter at home, during this quarantine. And it's amazing. When I think back, Marc, you know, I've known you for close to 30 years, you know, and not only are you our president and COO, and, you know, I feel like
we met each other when we were like 5, right?
I was going to say exactly. But I feel like we've kind of grown up together. You're, you know, one of my best friends and a brother, and just appreciate everything you've done, and treasure our relationship. But thanks again for being on. I know you and I both were huge sports fans, and I don't know about you, but it's painful, you know, not to have access to sports. You know what I mean?
That's like a thing for us to get away a little bit, to take our mind off of things. It's nice to sort of get your mind onto something else. And I got to tell you something, because just like you, I'm a huge sports fan. Actually, the most boring station to watch right now is ESPN. So you find yourself, you know, migrating to different things when you have a chance. And for me, Andrew, it's been more, I mean, since there isn't nothing to watch, nothing much to do, I've just been burying myself into work. 7 days a week, 18 hours a day. So I mean, there's nothing funner to do at all. There's nothing else to watch. And, so it's from that standpoint, what else are you going to do, right?
Yeah, no, we're fortunate to have such a thriving, growing enterprise, and I know we're all staying busy and staying connected, and it's been awesome. Let's talk about what we've done throughout the quarantine as a corporation. During the coronavirus pandemic, which sometimes I feel a little bit guilty because I have a number of friends and other people that I know that are really challenged during this time. But for us, our business is really growing, really thriving. We're excelling in so many different areas. And I think that's largely due to the fact that we've had an exemplary business continuity program, and everything has continued to be executed seamlessly. And I know for you, you've led the charge. You put together a task force. It's all been about being health and safety first. But talk to us a little bit about what you've done. I know you planned way in advance, but talk about what's been done, during the time frame, even before the lockdown started.
Interestingly, Andrew, we, unlike most companies who had to sort of react probably around the second week of March to the third week of March, when things really started to sort of come to a head, we've been really thinking about this, maybe around third week of January, because there were question marks and things of that nature as it related to the World Conference in Miami. And so we were actually planning for this way in advance. And I can't take all the credit. The team here was already putting together a plan even as early as February. And we knew we had to mobilize to move everyone from the office to home. We made that transition right when I made the decision, we've got to now do this. Within about a 3-day period, we had hundreds and hundreds of employees already working and functionally and productive, working from home. And we staged it. Not everyone, went and worked home. We planned it on who was going to go first, followed by the next people, the time that they were going to go, and so forth and so on. And one of the advantages of that, it's that team is working so incredibly well. We have a great platform that we use called Microsoft Teams, to where they interact just like we're talking today on Zoom. And then it's also enabled me to focus really on the unicorn, which is the distribution center, and and putting the things in place that we need to do to keep them safe, to keep production running. They have been just rock stars. I mean, they have just been unbelievable. Every week I bring in lunch for them, so they can, they've taken things to a whole new level. Every country manager out there in Malaysia, Singapore, everywhere has been incredible. And been adaptive and reactive and proactive, all the things that you need to be here, and really anticipating what was going to happen. So, really for us, we started sending people home, Andrew, I think it was March 16th now. So we're getting close to that 2-month time frame. And we started sending people home then, and it's been, production hasn't dropped one bit.
I was going to say, Mark, and we've talked, obviously, we talk all the time, but the connectivity between the different divisions internally, between our partners and employees, has been maybe even stronger than when we were physically in the office. And I feel like productivity is even higher. And I know from an right.
What's interesting is a lot of the staff have told me, they said, working from home, they get up and they don't have to, get ready and get dressed and go in the car. So they save all that time from coming to the office. But they get up early, they go right in, they start working, and then they'll tell me, Mark, before I know it, it's like 8 o'clock at night. I wasn't even thinking about time, and we're just, all in it. And, people working during the week, people working on weekends, and it's been absolutely incredible how everyone has stepped up, and it's just a unique dynamic. And, they've been very thankful that, on the plan that we put into place by putting health and safety first for them. And I got to tell you something, they've just been doing a phenomenal job.
Well, we consider, I know you have kind of instilled this in the culture at marketamericanshop.com. Everybody's a partner, and we have our internal partnerships, and then we also have our community of unfranchised owners around the world. And it's just unbelievable what a stimulus this has been for our business. When you think about it, our business is home-based. It's online, and our products, as you know, have been in extreme demand. And maybe I know there's a few products that come in and within about 15, 20 minutes are already sold out, without any promotion or communication. That's how engaged, our community is right now. And it's because the products have, of course, such high quality and value. It's what's in tremendous need right now to enhance your immune system, and of course the business is just doing incredibly well. People are looking for alternatives now because a pandemic, especially, you start to realize how vulnerable you may be, by working for somebody else.
I do want to, just tip my hat to unfranchised owners because, for years they've been used to working with people one-on-one in the homes, in hotels, and so forth and so on. And for them to be able to adapt and mobilize so quickly to doing this online has been remarkable. It was like no hitch whatsoever. And the amount of people who are now, the kind of trainings that people are like last night you have JR and Dennis and
Yep.
just different incredible speakers and giving the information that they might not normally get unless they're actually at an event or in person. And the amount of information we're able to disseminate, and UFOs have just really taken it to where they're exposing this to so many more people. It's just been outstanding, the job.
Yeah, we just agree. The transition for the global meeting, training, and seminar system to shifting everything that was already in place from a structural standpoint, everything was already coordinated, and organized, and just shifting it online has been not an easy transition, but one that was transitioned quite seamlessly, and everybody is benefiting from that. So Mark, of course, we've been responsive, from an employee standpoint, transitioning to adapt to the times. We've also been responsive from a product standpoint. You want to just make a mention about the products we've introduced, just to ensure that the volume continues to flow, because the extreme demand we've had for some of our products, even though the supply chain has been very healthy, it resulted in having some back orders. But what did you do to kind of fill that void?
Well, we immediately started, this goes into, end of February again, where Marty Weissman and his team and our purchasing division led by Asaf and Greg and those guys all have been working together, and Eddie Albert, all of them in the product teams and all the product managers working together. We all met and said, we to meet this demand, we're going to have to come out with products faster than we've ever had to in the past. And by being a product brokerage company, it gives us that flexibility and be able to be fluid to go in there and look at other sources to get these products. I mean, for instance, like this hand sanitizer, I have it right on my desk, right? I mean, when these products come in, and we're bringing in 25,000 a pop, I mean, these things are going in minutes.
Yeah,
and so we couldn't rely on one supply source. So, just in a 5-week time frame, and if anyone who's listened to the call or listens to this after, if you can listen to my Zoom that I had on Tuesday night, I mean, since that time, we've come out with three new hand sanitizers. We just came out with an antibacterial hand sanitizer. So we have 3 hand sanitizers with the over 60% alcohol levels, which it needs. We also came out with a hand sanitizer without alcohol, which is incredible. I love the packaging, a great product under shopping annuity. We came out with alcohol wipes. We came out with face masks. I mean, all this stuff is live. And then, of course, the disinfectant. We can't keep Snap disinfected. As soon as they bring it to our dock, it's sold out in about 10 minutes. I mean, that's how quick it is. Yeah. And so we have another disinfectant that's going to be coming out in the next couple of weeks. That's from a different supplier, so we can meet the demand. Immune products. We came out with 2 vitamin C products, 1 vitamin D3 product. We are coming out with, I think, a breakthrough product under a shopping annuity called the Premium Immune Plus, which is with incredible ingredients in it. Echinacea, reishi mushroom, along with zinc. The formulation is absolutely incredible. So that way, that product is really interesting because that product, sort of unlike anything we have in our products that we have in the line, nothing will ever substitute or replace isotonics and so forth. But this product, it's like a quick fixer, if you will. Like if you're starting to feel a cold come on or sneeze or you're coughing or whatever, you feel like something's about to get on that product immediately. It's going to get you right there when you need to and impact it. So, and there's more coming. I mean, in Taiwan, we're bringing out a new hand sanitizer. We're bringing out a new vitamin C product. And then in other markets as well, we're looking at face masks. We're looking at everything that, that people need today.
Yeah, no, Mark, everybody's did an incredible job. And I just want to make mention for a special video that was put together. Of course, we're built on product and powered by people. And one thing I think is extremely admirable. I know other people who are have been challenged, just find it just remarkable what's been accomplished with our enterprise, with our company, and the fact that nobody has been laid off of their job throughout the different countries that we operate in. In fact, and I think this, I don't know whose, I think it was your idea, but I think it's very inspiring that all the employees in the distribution center are actually given pay raises. You mentioned they're the unicorns, they're the rock stars, they're the heroes here, you know, and maybe just make just quick mention of that. I think that's a great accomplishment.
It's one of the first things I did. I mean, they're here every single day, and they have stepped up to the plate unbelievably. And of course, we put them in an environment that's very safe. But I thought it was extremely important. One of the first things that we did, and I spoke with JR and Lauren about this, and we were all in favor of this, is from the get-go, as I gave them an increase in their wages right from the get-go. And those are still in place. And that'll still go in place until this whole thing somewhat settles down. And I don't think we all think it's going to settle down so quickly. It's going to be phased in, but that's going to continue until, you know, things get back to normal, which none of us know when that's going to happen, but
it'll probably be a new, bit of a new normal. Yeah. Well, Mark, you know, I want to show a special video that was put together by the employees. It was a surprise to the executive team, to yourself, to JR and Lauren. So if we could, please, let's roll that video. I thought it was really touching.
JR, Lauren, and Mark, thank you so much for everything you did to keep us healthy and safe. We love you.
Everything that you're doing is so critical in terms of us getting product out to our customers.
But your support truly means a lot to us.
So thank you for everything.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I just wanted to say thank you
For everything that y'all do.
A beautiful piece that was put together, you know, so wanted to definitely
that makes it all worth it, you know.
Certainly does.
Makes it all worth it, especially when it's a surprise.
Yeah, and a couple of things we've learned, you know, you mentioned it, anticipatory thinking. I think we both learned that from JR, and also, which is reflective of that video, the fact that, you know, companies don't make people successful, people make companies successful, and it's a true testament of what we've experienced, and that just continues. We're just getting started. So let's shift to Marc Ashley for a minute here. Talked about the company and how we've adapted, which is great. You've led the way, and I just took some notes here, Mark. I know besides being president and COO of Market America and Shop.com, I think it's important for people to know, the audience, there's a lot of people out there that are viewing that don't know Marc Ashley. And there are, of course, a lot of people who do, you know, Mark, but I know that you sit on the advisory board of the University of North Carolina at Greensboro. You're on the board of directors of the Better Business Bureau Education Foundation. You were the former chairman of the board of the Better Business Bureau, and you're also on the Cone Health Advisory Board. So I know you stay busy beyond, I don't know how it's possible, beyond your role as the COO and president. And you've received a lot of accolades. The company's received a lot of accolades and awards. But recently you were recognized by the University of North Carolina in Greensboro with the Entrepreneur Extraordinaire Award. The Entrepreneur Extraordinaire Award. And it's presented by the Entrepreneurship Cross-Disciplinary Program in the Bryan School of Business and Economics. I love this award because it's prestigious, and it honors exceptional, innovative entrepreneurship activities and success that makes a difference in the industry that you're in, or that, you know, and the greater community. You know, Mark, I mean, we obviously a company, it's growing, and we've made an impact on thousands of people's lives around the world, but also in the community, led by Brandy Quinn, the MA Cares program has also impacted a lot of people's lives in a very positive way. We give back to the community there in Greensboro. Of course, we give back in Miami Beach and Miami, and also in New York. But
Yeah.
You had a quote here. I wanted to leave with this, and maybe you can just enlighten us a little
I
bit
would
here.
love to.
You said during your acceptance speech when you got this award, you said, passion is one of the most important traits you can have as an entrepreneur. You can't choose your passion chooses you. Talk about that for a minute.
Well, I mean, what I meant when I said that is it's whatever that is inside of you is what you were born with, what you have. And you don't just come out and say, oh, I'm passionate about this.
Right.
It's just what's in yourself. And you can't put a picture on it, but maybe we're born that way. We have a passion for this or that, but whatever that is, make sure that you carry that out. Make sure that you fulfill it. Because, that's the most important thing that anyone can do. And you never want to leave this life and there was something you were passionate about and you never did anything about it. And I truly believe that, you don't choose it. It chooses you, but you got to act on it. And so many people don't act on it in this life that's such short-lived, right, for all of us. And all of us are going to go one day, one of these days. But you got to live that out and fulfill it.
You've come a long way, Mark, from, I think, weren't you the bagger of the month at the Fresh Market in Greensboro, North Carolina? Did I get the grocery store right, or was it Food Line?
I think I was thinking I was a bagger of the month for many grocery stores. I think I worked for about 3 or 4 of them. And I was very good at asking people if they wanted paper or plastic. And I used to be extremely good at doing that and bagging the groceries correct. I was one of the best at going and getting the carts out in the parking lot during those times. So yeah, whatever I was doing, I was always trying to be the best. But I think I got bagger of the month at a few different places.
Well done. Well done. You've come a long way. Now the president and COO of this billion-dollar enterprise, and we're just getting started. But if you could give, I guess you've really already kind of said it, and provide a message or some advice to aspiring entrepreneurs or people who are getting ready to start a business venture. What advice would you give them?
The first thing I would say is you got to work hard. I remember when I was a junior in college, I was just starting in the business school, and the professor asked a question. He says, how many of you want to own your own business? And, probably about 80% of the people in the room raised their hand, right? And the professor points out to one gentleman in the class, and he says, well, why do you want to have your own business? And he goes, well, I want to be able to do what I want to do, whenever I want to do it, and so forth and so on. Well, when you're a partner or owner of a business or have your own business, you can set your own time, but really, you're married to that. I mean, there's no really turning off. You can be on a vacation, right? But you can't turn it off. And I know that even when I might be, and I have a lot of the staff, executive people do, they'll send me a request. Hey, I'm going to be out today, but I'm just not going to be in the office, because you just can't turn it on and off.
Right.
That's one of the things I envy about an unfranchised owner. They can turn it on and off, because guess what? They can always be rest assured that the Rock company is always going to be here. And it's always the checks are going to come every Friday. The packages are going to go out. Our service centers we're always going to be here for them. And so, that's number one. And also work hard. There's no shortcut to success. If there was, we'd all be on that silver bullet all the time. There's no shortcut. But, JR told me something when I was like 16. And he said, make sure that the time you spend pays you for the rest of your life, right? Make sure the time you spend pays you for the rest of your life. And of course, at 16, I have no idea what he's talking about. It goes way over my head. And really what it's about is, and this is about entrepreneurship, make sure that if you're putting in 4 hours a day, 5 hours a day, 6 hours a day, 3 hours a day, make sure that you're not just getting paid for 3 hours and then you do the same thing again the next day. Right. Make sure whatever time that is pays you forever. And it pays you forever. And once you understand how that works, and that was what, One of the reasons he started this business, it's residual income. I put 3 hours in, I meet with people, I talk with people, I build new customers. Guess what? That is BV and IBV that's going to come in forever and pay you a residual income. So everything that I've looked at, and I've been in all kinds of businesses, franchises and stuff like that, and not just to give it a plug, but I've never found anything like this. I mean, as a UFO, when you can get started in a business, you get started in just like a business owner without the overhead, the headaches, the hassle, all of that, be able to make the kind of income you can make in this business. I've seen it for so many years. There's nothing like this.
There's nothing like it. I agree. So, Mark, before we go to a commercial break, Robin Sharma wrote a book recently called The 5 a.m. Club. It's Own Your Morning, Elevate Your Life. I saw the title of that, and when he introduced it, I thought, wait a minute, Mark, I think might have the 3 a.m. or the 4 a.m. club. And I know, and some people think you're crazy for getting up that early and going to the office, but you also know that if you love what you do, you never really work a day in your life. And you want to speak to your hours that you keep. I mean, getting up at 3 in the morning, talk about that for a second.
Yeah, so my alarm is set for 4 a.m. every morning. It's been that way for as long as I can remember. I wake up before that time. And a lot of people are like, man, how do you do it? For me, it's a new day. So having that time between it, think about it. It gives me people start really getting going around 8 kind of thing normally. Well, I've got 4 hours to myself that I have been able to plan the day, prepare extra for meetings, prepare for what's going to happen that we're going to do today that's going to make a difference. And that time in the morning is invaluable. If I woke up at 6 a.m. now, I'd be so behind on the day, it would be unbelievable. But I use that time. I train with someone at 4:45, get my mind right, and then I'm digging in, starting at 4 o'clock and just going in and getting my day started. So, it just, to me, I feel like it gives me a competitive edge in what we're trying to do in this business. I feel like I'm doing things productive while people are sleeping. So I know, Andrew, what you usually get up at about 8-ish, something like that?
But no, a little earlier than that. Now, I think I go to bed later than you do, but I want to get about 7 hours of sleep. I get up around 7 o'clock in the morning, kind of.
So I've gotten 3 hours of quality time in while you're still, snoozing away.
Let's not forget the hours I get in later on at night. That's one thing. The other thing is, like Lauren, you might get up at 4 in the morning, but she goes to bed at 4 in the morning. So, but at the end of the day, we're all making it happen around the clock.
I used to be that way too. I would be the guy who would be working that late in the middle of the night. And I found that, you have some days that the days that bother me, Andrew, are the days that I feel like we weren't productive.
Right.
We didn't make a difference. If we didn't make a difference, I have the worst day ever. But to me, you can have a bad day. But when I wake up that next morning early before everyone else is, I feel like it's a new day. We're going to start fresh today. And every day I wake up, I'm always like, this is going to be the best day ever. This is going to be a great day, even if I had the worst day the day before, day is going to be the best day ever. Every single morning.
And that's something I think a lot of us have learned from you. You've always said, we want to look to get better every day, to improve each and every day. And then we can always keep growing and keep improving. But it is time for a commercial break. So everybody stay tuned. We'll be right back here at the Andrew Weissman Show. Thanks for tuning in.
Introducing Pure Collagen, the hydrating boost that your body deserves. Offering a generous 5 grams of hydrolyzed collagen per serving, Pure Collagen helps maintain skin health, supports collagen maintenance throughout the body, and supports healthy bones and joints. Pure Collagen can be taken alone or even added to your favorite isotonic supplement. Individually packaged in a ready-to-go vial, adding Pure Collagen to your daily supplement regimen is easy and convenient. Get yours today.
And welcome back to the Andrew Weissman Show. We are here with our very special guest, the President and Chief Operating Officer of MarketAmericanShop.com, Marc Ashley. Marc, let's go back in time a little bit. Okay, let's go back in time. Talk to us a little bit about what you were doing, when the company started, and how you met JR.
Well, you already let the cat out of the bag a little bit. I was bagging groceries for a while there. I mean, from the time I could start working, I started working. That was just in me right there. But met JR and Lauren. I was still in high school at the time, and
real quick, so everybody, there's people out there that tune. JR Ridinger is the founder, the chairman, and CEO of MarketAmericanShop.com. Lauren is your sister, and also the senior executive vice president and co-founder of MarketAmericanShop.com. So I just want to mention that.
Yeah, 100%. And so JR and Lauren we're going out. JR and I from the first time became really great friends, and I think right when I was finishing high school. Lauren was saying, look, as an entrepreneur, he had, gone up and down, you know what I mean? And was really tired of it, got really fed up and tired of it. So talked him into starting Market America. At that time, I was just starting college. I was working at a tennis center, actually, at that time. I'd worked there for Spencer Love, about 6 years I worked there. We used to put on big tournaments and events, and Eddie Alberti, who's a vice president with the company, and of course Joe Boyard, who's our executive vice president of the company. We all work there together, and it's funny how there we have a lot of crazy, funny stories back then. But I was able to really meet a lot of great people during school, and a lot of people who I was friends with were extremely smart in all these different areas, and many of them became involved in the company, at an early age. But I was working at the tennis center, started this, moved in with Lauren and JR. None of us came from money. The only person who had a little money was JR, but it was a very little bit amount of seed money to even get this going. So I moved in with them, started working out of the house. I would take classes the earliest I could, which is 8 a.m. in college. That would enable me to, get really to work at about 11:30, work all night, work on the weekends. I remember back in the early days, we'd work full-time all through the week. On Friday, we'd rent a van. We'd put products in there, and then we would drive up the East Coast to different meetings because there was no internet at the time, right? And we had to show our products to people. So we go to these meetings. It might be 100 people, whatever, Edison, New Jersey, and up in Massachusetts. We literally drive a van, rent a van, leave on Friday, come back Sunday night, and guess what? Do it all over again on Monday.
Yeah. Right.
Just whatever it took, we did. And, it was incredible. I also, during that time, too, because I had to have some kind of money, I delivered Chinese food. I was a pretty good delivery person as well.
Well done. Yep.
Yeah, really good. Always made time. I was always on time.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, JR, he has, the magic moments of, in the evolution and the growth of the company. He always mentions you're one of those magic moments where the company was challenged at the time. The money was running out. Like you said, there wasn't that much money to start with in the beginning. It started in the house that JR and Lauren were living in. You were living there. And, JR was, it was a struggle, and he talked about you saying, JR, listen, don't give up. I'll work for $35 a week. You go out, do the meetings, do the trainings, lead the people, and let's make it happen.
Andrew, and he's very nice when he says that to me, and very complimentary. But I do want to say that I was very lucky as well from the standpoint, because you got to understand, we started the company, Lauren and I were very young, right? So JR was teaching us on how to run a business, but also we had to build the business too, right? So it had gotten to that point, even though the company wasn't doing well, he had been able to work with us enough to where it was easy enough for me to say to him, hey, no one can build this business like JR. We all know that. We've seen that for 28 years. But for him to stay at the office was not a good utilization of his time. It's just not. And so I felt like he had groomed us enough, myself enough, to where I could say, get out of here. Go do what you do better than anyone else and go build this thing. So he's very complimentary of me, but I probably wouldn't have been able to do that had he not spent the time with me to get me up to speed and train so I can continue on what he had sort of built from the infrastructure standpoint. But at that point, it was easy for me to say, just get out of here. I don't want to, you need to be building and in the field. That's what you do best. No one does it better. We got everything covered. Don't pay me. I don't want to get paid, because I knew if that's what he did, it was only going to be a matter of time, and it wasn't going to be that long. Yeah. And so he's very complimentary, but I want to put it in perspective that, you know, a lot of that had to do with how he set us up, that I could even say that, you know.
And we're fortunate, you know, to have, Jared talks about leadership by example, and he continues to do today what was done in the beginning to get us to where we are today. And that's where his passion and love is, in coaching and helping people succeed, totally, following our business plan. But Marc, just quickly, I thought when I thought about in the very beginning, you living with JR and Lauren, wasn't the first office on Elm Street, you called it was like Nightmare on Elm Street or something like that?
Let me just correct you just for 2 seconds. It was on North Elm Street, okay? And it was it was a mess, because, you know, at the end of the day, we couldn't afford rent. You know, I mean, we were late 30, 60, 90 days on rent and so forth and so on. But it was on North Elm Street, but because it wasn't the best time for us, we used to call it Nightmare on Elm Street, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street. And I remember that place. And, you know, the best part about that place was leave it.
Leave it, right, yeah.
For sure. So.
Lauren mentioned it, I think maybe it was around that time, maybe a little bit after that, JR got her a Conquest, the Conquest car, a sports car.
Bringing that story up, huh?
You took the car and you wrecked the car or something like that, and you left a nice note for her. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember back in the day, there was a Dodge Chrysler Conquest. It was a twin turbo car. The thing would fly.
Yeah. And
they went out of town on business, and Lauren was nice enough to let me utilize the car, because at that time I was driving a green Honda Civic. Those little small ones that look like a shoe. Yeah. This one really looked like it looked like a shoe. It was like it looked like a Fred Flintstone car, and it would always break down all the time. And she was nice enough to let me use it. And of course, I was riding dirty all day long, all through the weekend, and got it out of control, spun it out of control, and totally wrecked it. And it wasn't a good, you know, first impression for her to let me use her car. Of course, I paid for it to get fixed, but you know, it was really nice. But it only took me a weekend before that thing was upside down.
Well, and you left a nice little note for her, like a sad note or something like that.
Yeah. So what happened was I felt bad. I knew that when they came back in, I wouldn't be there. I think at this point I was staying somewhere else. And so what I did is I wrote this handwritten, beautiful note, just beautiful note. And what I did is I put a little water drops on it, like I had been crying, and felt really bad. You could see when, you know, she got the note, it was like, I was hoping that she would, you know, feel sorry for me.
Right.
And wouldn't, because I thought they're going to kill me for it. And because remember that this is like the first nice car, you know, she had. And I put a little teardrops on there, so hopefully it would lessen the blow. Nice touch, no?
Yeah, perfect. Well, from bagging groceries to delivering Chinese food, and now here you are, you know, and the new numbers came in, Marc, as of the first quarter of 2020. You know, the estimated retail sales of marketamericanshop.com is just over $9.5 billion. But more importantly, unfranchised owners have earned over $2.4 billion in commissions and over $2.4 billion in retail profits, which is over $4.9 billion in total earnings. That's money that's been put into the pockets of entrepreneurs around the world. How does that, when you hear those numbers, how does that make you feel?
Well, I mean, obviously, I feel great that our franchise owners have earned billions of dollars, but to me, it doesn't do anything for me, because to me, it's just not enough. I won't be satisfied until we're paying trillions of dollars out to unfranchised owners. That's just the way I work. That's just the way we operate. I mean, it's great, but I'm not satisfied whatsoever, because I won't be satisfied until that's hundreds of billions and getting into the trillions, because I want more people to get paid. I want more people to change their lives. And so for me, I mean, maybe I would have been happy when we first started, but now it's like, no. We got more people got to make even more money. We got to get more people making more money, just in general. And I think that we're poised to do that.
Yeah, we can continue to impact the quality of people's lives with our products and our business. And I'm with you, Mark. It feels like this is just the beginning. 28 years of a foundation, like you're suggesting here, it's just the beginning. We have a lot of potential. Can get into those hundreds of billions and trillions. So let's talk about Mark for a second here. What do you think is different about Marc Ashley 25 years ago compared to Marc Ashley today?
I don't think there's much difference. I was very driven. I always worked hard from the time I could work. I think I've just gotten smarter. I've gotten wiser. I'm a big listener. I always tell people, when you talk, all you're doing is repeating what you already know. But when you listen, you might learn something. And I'm a big listener, because I'm always wanting to learn every day. If I can pick up one thing here or one thing there. So I think as I've gotten older, I've learned to listen a lot better, much better, because I learn. When I talk, I'm just repeating something that I already know. So I'm always, more than ever before, I think I'm really looking to learn each and every day, as well as make this company better, but learn all the time. I'm always focused on that. And I just think that we've gotten smarter and wiser, but the work ethic's never changed. Yeah. It's never changed.
Well, I think one day, Mark, you never know, there could be a movie that's made about your life, a movie made about Marc Ashley. If that were to happen, what actor do you think would play you in that role?
Maybe because we're close in age and people have brought his name up before when I've been in New York or different things like that. I'd probably say Ben Affleck would be maybe one that I would throw out there.
People have said, I think I've been around you. People thought you were Ben Affleck coming to a restaurant.
Sometimes when I put the hat on and stuff, I'm walking around in New York and things like that. It's come up before, but maybe that he likes sports and different things like that, like me. But I guess that would be probably one that would come to my mind.
Great choice. His new girlfriend's great too, the new Bond girl.
Yeah, I know you've been
choice on his behalf. Yeah.
I think I've seen you post on Instagram. Well done on that. I think. No.
I did. I did. I gave her I think I have. People like when I give them those accolades, the well done or the respect. Let's see here. I think you already kind of touched on this, Mark. When the company started back when there was no money, you were living with J.R. and Lauren. It was just an idea, a thought. You're making it happen with the team at the time. And, did you ever think or expect the company would be where it is today, or even where you are today? Did you ever envision that?
And I don't want to sound, I guess I'll just say the answer to me is yes. I really did. I really did, because I really thought that when you looked at someone like JR and you looked at what he had been through and you look at his vast amount of knowledge at a young age that he had, and what he could do, he's just such an easy guy to follow.
Right.
And I believed in him. It's like we always talk about beliefs, the best product we have. But I know that Lauren and I believed in him tremendously, and Marty and Joe and everybody. We just needed to put him in the position to do what he needed to do and not let us hold him back. And,
right.
So when you have someone like that who's leading you, and at a young age, he was very young, to have the kind of knowledge and drive, and you can see just from his accolades leading up to that time that it wasn't about him. It was more about other people letting him down. And so that's why Lauren talked him into starting this company, because you can't rely on anyone else anymore. You got to be the one to do it, because you see how it needs to be done the right way. You've seen people do it the wrong way. So I felt without a doubt it was going to be. It was only a matter of time. And
JR, yeah, you're right. JR, he surrounded himself with people who kind of caught the vision and were passionate, dedicated, and were just going to make it happen, allow him to lead the way. Like you said, put him in a position to do what he does best. And do you have a memorable moment? He's asked you, what would be a memorable moment with Mark in America? What would come to mind?
That's probably going to be, that's one of the toughest questions you could ask me, because there's so many of them. To me, memorable moments for me are every time we do a major event and I meet all the unfranchised owners, because it just reminds me of why the company does what it does today. I'd also have to say, when we grew international, I mean, when you go out to an event in Taipei with 26,000 people, and Andrew, you've been out there with me many times, and you see that, and you're in a different world that you've never been in before, and you're seeing that people in another country across,
other side of the globe are warming up to this business and growing and earning money, and then that parlays into Hong Kong and Singapore and Malaysia and the United Kingdom and Canada and Australia. And you see those people, it's like, man, that's when you sort of really feel like, man, you get goosebumps and say, you know what you're doing's right. And because all these people around the world here, I guess I would say, like I said, I knew we'd be successful, but I think growing globally and seeing that was probably something I didn't envision, if that makes sense. It does
when
make
you first see that, man, it's touching. It's so touching.
And to continue to positively impact people's lives with their products in the business. And you're right, you didn't realize it was going to grow around the globe internationally, but it's inspiring to continue to make that happen and see the success. It is time for another commercial break, so everybody stay tuned, and we'll be right back at the Andrew Weissman Show.
So let me get this straight. You're saying he's done. His career's over. Is that what you're saying?
No. What I'm saying is that he's just not the player that we expected him to be. I mean, this was a guy who went first round, a guy who was guaranteed a max contract. Now, he's struggling to get off the bench.
So like I said, you're saying he's done.
You like to twist my words. Look, all I know is that it's going to be very hard for him to be the player we thought he was going to be.
Welcome back, Darren.
Dime lo que tú quieres de mi coquita. Soy llamándole de gusto, eres una coqueta. Dime cómo suena la pobreza. Sé que tú supiste que tú fuiste la coqueta. Tú siempre fuiste la coqueta.
And welcome back to the Andrew Weissman Show. We're here with our special guest, Marc Ashley, the president and COO of MarketAmericanShop.com. Mark, there's a couple of things on the Andrew Weissman Show that people really look forward to. They've become quite famous, you might say. And one of them is a little segment called Would You Rather? Okay, Would You Rather? And so I'm just going to throw out a couple of things to you, and you just answer them based on Would You Rather? Okay, would you rather wear a suit and tie or sweatpants?
Ooh, that's tough. I mean, to me, it depends on the environment, but I can't be. I would probably say, is this out or in, or it doesn't matter, just in general?
I guess, either one. I guess,
I would rather wear sweatpants just because I'm comfortable.
Of course. Would you rather live on a beachside home or in the city?
I'd probably rather live in a beachside home.
Yeah, keep it chill. Keep it
Yeah.
chill. Would you rather see?
I like to, chill like Bob Dylan a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you. Would you rather see Duke win the national championship or the Carolina Panthers win the Super Bowl?
That's easy. Duke win the
That's an easy
national
one.
championship.
Would you rather travel to Hong Kong or London? I know you like both of those cities. Those are both.
I'd say Hong Kong for sure.
Hong Kong. And would you rather start as an executive with the company today or back when the company started?
Oh, back when the company started. I mean, you always want to do everything as young as you can.
Yeah, amen. Well, I know you're a big sports fan. I know Duke's your favorite team. Talk to us a little bit about where did that affinity come from? Where did that love affair come from between you and Duke basketball?
When our family moved to North Carolina, back in like the high school years and so forth and so on, and trying to figure out maybe who you have an affinity to or gravitate to. It's pretty easy for me. At that time, Mike Krzyzewski, Coach K, had become the coach of Duke, and initially, wasn't sure, and then boom, and just to see the kind of leader that he is, and the background he came from a strong military background, so he's got that. He has no problem getting in your face and telling you what you're doing wrong and so forth. But when you're at an institution like Duke, which is an Ivy level kind of institution, and you can have a program, most sports teams are maybe good for a couple of years and they fall by the wayside, or, to have consistency each and every single year, where every year you're playing for a national title and you're in the top 5 and top 10 every year. To me, that separates teams in any sport from great teams. And, and there might be times when teams hit a dynasty for 5 or 6 years, but then they have to rebuild again. Mm-hmm. He's never had to do that. He continues to retool. He's actually adjusted with the times. There used to be a time in Duke, because the institution's so great, no one would ever leave Duke early, right? They would go 4 years and then they go to the pros. Well, that changed. Kids came for a year and would leave. So now he adapted to that. Instead of resting and saying, no, I do it this way or the highway, he adapted with times. He's been able to build a program that's just at the highest level, competing for a national championship every single year. So that's what I really loved about it, the consistency and focus on getting better all the time.
And then he went on, of course, and coached our national team.
Yeah.
And what is it? What's the record he had? It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I think when he coached them in 3 Olympics, they won 3 golds, and he left the team, if I'm not mistaken, with like an 82 game winning streak.
Right.
So even now they lost in the last championships that they played. Not when he coached. Right. But when he left them and won the 3rd gold, they had won like 82 straight games. It was unbelievable.
But it's amazing he has such an impact on the college players, but also the pros love to play for him too. I know you had a conversation with Carmelo Anthony, and what did he said that that's his favorite coach to play for.
Yeah, he just said, he's got your back no matter what. And he would, during practice, he would blow a whistle, and it's just simple things like, hey, if you're 6'9" and you're posting up a guy who's 6'3", and he would blow the whistle and, well, don't keep the ball by your waist, because now you've made the 6'4" guy, he's at your height now. Keep the ball here. So little things like that people are like, oh man, yeah. If I can, that first of all, that you already know and you should do, but those things can separate being a good player from a great player. But yeah, I mean, he speaks the world of them.
When I think about those little things that make a big difference, I just automatically thought about JR talking about the 90-day fast track process, the evaluation approach, no decision close, trial run, and a lot of times these little minor tweaks, little adjustments make the biggest difference. So I love the analogy.
It's just like, I know you like to work out. I think you're doing 2 a days now, if I'm not mistaken. But
help as well.
When I'm working out with my trainer, I ask him on every because he's always doing new exercises. I always ask him to make sure that I'm doing it right. Yeah. Right? Because if you aren't, if you're looking down and you should be looking up, you're not getting the maximum capacity of what that exercise can do. Just the littlest things will let you focus on that area you need to, versus doing it the wrong way. just the smallest things make the biggest
Smallest adjustments can make the biggest impact and biggest get the biggest results, best results. Talk about real quick the memorable moment with Duke basketball. What would you say the most memorable moment? I know you don't miss a game.
I mean, I try not to miss a game. I mean, me and Joe and Steve, my brother, if they go to the Final Four, we always go together. That's a ritual that we always do. Yeah. But to me, without a doubt, and I think anyone who even has seen basketball would know, and that would be the 1992 Elite Eight game against Kentucky, when Christian Laettner caught that pass from Grant Hill, who's a Hall of Famer, and I think it was 2.1 second, catches the ball, turns around in the old Philadelphia Spectrum, right, and nails the shot for them to go to the Final Four. I think most people remember where they were, when they saw that shot. So to me, that, is without a doubt the most memorable game. I mean, to go from an emotion of like, we won the championship before, are favored to win it this year, to 2.1 seconds, you're down by one, you got to go full court. It's like, man, you're devastated. And to go from one extreme of just like, you're just destroyed, to euphoria is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's not only a historic moment, a memorable moment with Duke basketball, but it's really in all of sports. That's one of the moments that really sticks out, Mark, in today's society, you think about people that sometimes they measure success with material things, whether it be a nice car, maybe it's a vacation, maybe it's a nice house or whatever, and everybody has their own definition of success, and that's great, it's the way it should be. But how do you define success?
I don't define it by materialistic things at all. I define it by how many people's lives I've touched and how many people's lives I've changed. I think you go to a point in your life as you get older that, it's not about material things whatsoever. It's really about helping other people. Right. And if I can do something for anyone, family, friends, unfranchised owners, and I felt like I made a difference in their life or made their life better, to me, that's what life is all about. And that's everything. Nothing makes me feel better than that. Nothing can come close to it. Nothing that I can give to myself or do for myself ever makes me feel better than making a difference in someone else's life.
Yeah, I think that's reflective of how you conduct yourself in with the company. I mean, sometimes people could mistake your passions, and things happen. There are challenges, there are obstacles to overcome, there's problems to solve in business, and I know you can get quite dramatic sometimes, but at the end of the day, it goes back to what you just said, where you define success, so that passion comes out. But at the end of the day, it's all about the success of other people, which ultimately results in the success of the enterprise and more people being positively impacted with their life. So we're going to move a little bit faster here, Mark. I know your time is valuable, but it's all good. We really appreciate you being on. Let's go to maybe I think you've already kind of answered life lessons. What's your most valuable life lesson do you think that you've learned?
I think it's just a few things. Number one, life is short. So make the most out of it. Don't ever not reach your full potential. Don't ever have the drive or give up on anything. And I know people say that so many different times, but if you don't do nothing in a day, you just sort of wasted that day. That's another day that you've given, it's another day you've given up in your life. Live life to its fullest. Learn to have fun, learn to work hard, learn to play hard. Just life is so short that every minute, every day, every hour is so crucial through our whole lives, and so live it to its fullest.
Let's talk about some of Mark's favorites. Your favorite film? Your favorite movie?
I would have to say Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, that has to be right up there for me too.
Love it.
Great movie. What about music? You a music fan?
Love music. I love music. I'm not pigeonholed into one specific genre. I like hip hop. Of course, I love Fat Joe. I love old rock. You'll see me on Utopia 4 with Lauren singing, Bad Company and Journey and Stevie Nicks. I love that. I love hip hop. I love old hip hop and new hip hop. Yeah. I can listen to about everything. I think, Andrew, I know you like country as well.
I like all genres. I love music. I'm with you. And I remember, Mark, we've had D Nice at a couple of our events. You know, D Nice is now the DJ to the world. You know, Club Quarantine, and I know that there was a special time when we introduced Lumiere de Vie Ohms event. Yeah. He was in New York and DJ'd.
I remember an old song by D Nice. He used to go, "My name is D Nice, but my friends call me Derek." Derek. I couldn't believe I saw him, like, I heard his music, and then I thought the guy faded away, and here's the guy's one of the top DJs in the world.
Yeah, I love it. I love that.
Nice,
yeah.
Derek.
I think you've said that ever since I've known you. What about your favorite place to be on earth that you've actually been?
Oh, man. I would have to say, man, that's tough. Greece, absolutely beautiful. The French Riviera, Amalfi Coast. I mean, Hong Kong, I love. St. Bart's, I've become a huge fan of. It's hard to say one, right? Because every place has unique characteristics about it. But I'd have to say St. Bart's, Greece, French Riviera, Amalfi Coast, especially when you go at the right times, right?
Of course.
And Hong Kong has to be up there too, especially loving New York City. Going to Hong Kong, it's like New York on steroids.
Yeah.
You know, it's unbelievable.
It's a special place.
And you know what's crazy about the world, Andrew, is that there's still so many places I want to go.
You know, I was talking to Lauren last night. There's so many places in this country that I haven't experienced. I've traveled a lot as well, but there's so many places to experience here. Looking forward to this quarantine being over with and get back to traveling.
Oh, yeah.
And I had here your favorite team. Of course, that's Duke. So
Got to be Duke. Yeah.
You got that.
Gotta be Duke.
How about this one, Mark? If you could spend 1 hour speaking with anyone in history, dead or alive, who would it be?
Yeah, my goodness. I would have to say my mother. My mom passed away at 44 years old. She passed away at our first convention. And what I would do, I would give up everything to be able to have some time with her to catch back up on what's happened in our lives since that point. Would be, words could never describe it. So without a doubt, it'd have to be my mother to catch up. I mean, you know, unbelievable.
Yeah. She's watching over you guys. That's for sure. And as far as an influential role model, I think I probably know the answer to this one. Who would you look to as your most influential role model?
Yeah, I mean, that would have to be J.R. Ridinger, without a doubt. I mean, just even to this day, you know, just, you know, from the time I was young, from the time I first met him to the time, even as I sit here today talking to you, he's the guy, no question.
Yeah, great leader. Also passionate, you know, and dedicated, totally. Committed to other people's success.
Totally.
If you could have dinner with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be? And then maybe somebody you'd have a cocktail with, a drink with, a coffee with.
Well, definitely dinner. I'd go back to my mom. I'd want to have dinner with my mom. If I could have a drink, it would be my father, who passed away several years ago. He was, you know,
he was a character. Great
guy. He was a character. He was, when he worked at the company, everyone loved him. He would make people feel better. You know, I have an old fashioned with him, a nice old dark liquor with him would be nice, just a little bit, and it would be fabulous.
Yeah, to catch up. That's beautiful. Mark, obviously you're driven towards success. You talked about what drives. What keeps you motivated today? You know, I mean, what continues to keep you motivated?
Without a question, it's just continuing to get better every day. I mean, I live every day to make this company better. And it could be the smallest thing. It could be the biggest thing. It could be a new product we introduced today, bringing on great people, working with great people, you know, just being around people. I'm a people-oriented person. I mean, just getting better every day as an individual and as a company as a whole, and touching as many people's lives as I can.
Well, listen, we've always taught, JR's instilled in us and always thought, you know, we got to keep growing, which means different aspects or facets of your life and in business. So it is time for our last commercial break. So please stay tuned and we'll be right back.
And I realized that it wasn't going to be easy. And I didn't want life to pass us by. And we had to gain the conviction to realize we had to do something while we're living. We had to make a difference now. And what will your book be about when the last chapter closes? We're given a life to live to the fullest. Can you say you lived yours to the fullest? What was your life worth? That can only be measured by the impact that you had on others, the legacy you leave, the lives that you affected.
Welcome back. You are tuned in to the Andrew Weissman Show. I am Andrew Weissman. We have our special guest, the President and Chief Operating Officer of MarketAmericanShop.com, Mr. Marc Ashley. And the nice thing about Mark at the Andrew Weissman Show, we're very versatile, as you learned in the very beginning, on where we broadcast, when we broadcast. But the nice thing is the length of our show varies. So
is this longer than normal?
It's a little longer, but it's so great. I don't want to cut anything short. This will be the last segment, but we really appreciate your time. Know how valuable it is.
Save the best for last.
Save the best for last, exactly. And the other famous segment that a lot of people look forward to, Mark, in the Andrew Weissman show is called Andrew's Quick Picks.
Oh, gosh, I was hoping we'd have time for that.
You already experienced Would You Rather. Now it's time for Andrew's Quick Picks. So here we go. Rapid fire. You just tell me which one you'd pick. Pearl Jam or Nirvana?
Pearl Jam.
Tiger Woods or Jack Nicklaus?
Tiger Woods.
Michael Jordan or LeBron James?
Michael Jordan.
Text or email?
Oh, text.
We should talk about your email etiquette, the rules you have on email.
That's it. We have a very strict policy at the company about email etiquette.
Going out to a nightclub
or break it all the time because
listen, I can only get better every day. You know?
And the only other problem with that is the only other thing is it's against, you can't do that around here, is don't send me an email and then send me a text that you sent me an email, because that's going to cause the phone to break immediately.
I think Eddie Alberti does that. Does he do that? Maybe
there's a couple people that just really. I'll get to your email. If it was that important, send me a text.
How about this? How about going out to a nightclub or karaoke at home?
Oof. I mean, I'd probably say go out to a nightclub.
All right. Johnny Carson or Jimmy Fallon?
I mean, I guess you got to go with Johnny Carson. He was the one who started it all.
Come on, the king.
Yeah.
George Bush or Ronald Reagan?
Oh, Ronald Reagan, of course. One of the best.
Madonna or Lady Gaga?
Lady Gaga, one of the greatest singers of all time.
I'm a big fan. Amazon.com or Shop.com?
Let me think about that. Shop.com.
Bella Hadid or Gigi Hadid?
They're not twins. No, I'm just kidding.
I take both.
I would probably go with Gigi Hadid.
You know, she's having a baby now.
Maybe we'll go back. Okay.
Yeah. The movie Coming to America or Beverly Hills Cop?
Oh, Coming to America, one of the best. McDowell's, baby.
Of course. And by
McDowell's?
The way, there's a new one going to be coming out.
I love that movie. That was one of the best. McDowell's, baby.
Eddie Murphy or Richard Pryor?
I mean, just because I grew up with him. I know Richard Pryor, all comedians look up to him, but probably just because he was in when we were growing up would be probably Eddie Murphy.
I feel you. The 95-96 Bulls, who, as you know, went 72-10, or the 2015-16 Golden State Warriors, who went 73-9.
No, I don't think there's a comparison. I think, and by the way, if I'm not mistaken, I believe the 72-9 team actually lost
That's correct.
to the Cavaliers. So
Correct.
when you look at that, I mean, that's the Bulls, of course.
The Bulls. And you've been watching The Last Dance, I hope.
Yeah, I just caught up to episode 6, so it's really, really incredible. It's great to see Scotty on there, you know?
Awesome. To see. And of course, in the first episode, or the second episode,
it was all about him.
And Jordan, he said, you can't say Michael Jordan without saying Scottie Pippen. He really showed the respect to him. Yeah. Amen. Eric Clapton or Peter Gabriel?
No, hold on. Andrew, I remember when I introduced my daughter for the first time to Scottie Pippen.
Yeah.
I remember Lauren, it was Lauren's birthday party on the yacht. And I introduced, I said, Mariah, I said, this is Scottie Pippen. He played with Michael Jordan. And he was like, no, Mariah. He goes, Michael Jordan played with me.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I didn't know about that story. Hulk Hogan or Ric Flair?
Come on. I mean, if I didn't know Hulk, it would be probably a little bit different. But Hulk Hogan's a friend of ours, so you got to go with the Hulkster. Hulkamania is running wild, baby.
This is a given. Duke or UNC?
First of all, let me think about that. Yeah.
U2 or Guns N' Roses?
I'd go U2.
Larry Bird or Magic Johnson?
I mean, to me, I love them both. I love them both, but I love them both. And I guess the only reason I got to say Bird was because, he lost to Magic in college and, you wanted to, it's just, to me, they're equal. I have a hard time choosing one another. They've changed the game of basketball.
After the 3 quarters in that one game, what were his numbers?
So, funny story, and I told some people this because I read Bird's documentary and his autobiography, just incredible. But there was a game that he was playing actually against the Milwaukee Bucks, Jim, if you're listening, is at the end of 3 quarters, he had a quadruple double and 9 steals. Now, that's not a triple double. It's called a quadruple double and 9 steals. That's at the end of three quarters, right? So his coach, Casey Jones, goes over to Bird and he goes, Larry, I just want to put you in there to get I don't even know what you call it, a king. I don't know what you call it.
Been done, yeah.
Right? And the Celtics are up by like 15 or whatever, and Casey Jones says, he goes, Larry, I just want you to put you in there to get this 5, get double digits on 5 categories. And Larry looks at him, he goes, no, he goes, I'm going to sit it out. He goes, I think I've done enough damage.
That's the kind of player he was, though, right? I mean, he
talked a lot of trash.
Oh, he's talked a lot of trash. But he was humble, though.
Yeah.
Enough. Jay-Z or Eminem?
Oh, I go Jay-Z.
Nike or Adidas?
Nike.
And the last one, you like this one. Don King or the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart?
I mean, the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart was a legend with the megaphone. I used to watch wrestling with my grandfather. Every Saturday we used to watch wrestling, and I used to get crazy about it. So you got to go. When I first met Hulk, the Hulkster,
yeah.
And then several days later he brought over the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. I was equally taken back to be able to meet the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, as I was able to meet Hulk Hogan.
Didn't he come over to one of our conferences, or no? That was Mean Gene.
Yeah, no. You're thinking of Mean Gene Okerlund. It wasn't Mean Gene. It was the Mouth of the South, and he was known for blowing the mega horn. He was also the guy who, he would do the cheap shots. He would hit you on the back of the head behind with a chair and stuff like that. But I remember when we were going to come out with a product for Hulk Hogan, and he had the megaphone. I guess he just carries this stuff around with him, sticks it in the car, and he was getting a lot of people over there for Hulk to sign the autograph. And I think he had just met all of us at the time. So he gets on the megaphone. He goes, everyone, get over here. RJ's about to be here, and Lori. He goes, come on over and see RJ. Lori. RJ. Yeah, so he got JR's name wrong, Lauren's name wrong. I remember Lauren was very embarrassed. I don't think JR was there, so he didn't hear the RJ part, but we were dying laughing.
Good stuff. Good stuff, Mark. We're gonna a couple more questions here, and then we'll wrap up this episode. Mark, what do you think of the greatest reward has been in your business life so far? I think you've said it a number of times. I think I know what the answer is going to be.
I know. I hope I'm not boring people by some of the same answers, but to me, I really focus on the fundamentals is changing people's lives. I mean, that's what this business, J.R. Lauren, myself, Marty, Joe, and Dennis, and everyone, Kevin Buckman, you know, wasn't about money. It was about changing people's lives. And organically, when you focus on other people, the right things are going to happen. And when we focus on making other people successful, organically, the company became successful. And to this day, it's never been focused on the company or us. It's always been focused on great employees, taking care of them, unfranchised owners, helping them succeed and building residual income, and then everything comes together.
Everything works out as a result. Absolutely. Challenges, Mark. What's the biggest challenge you've had to face and overcome in your life?
Without a doubt, for me, it's raising a daughter. There's no, you know, when you go get a driver's license, right? They give you a manual and you learn how to drive, and you get someone to show you. There's no manual in raising a child. You have to learn by trial and error. As busy as my mom passing away at a young age at 44, a lot of it was on me. And so no one ever taught me how to do that. And that's the hardest thing I ever had to do because, you know, are you making the right decision? There's no manual to follow. You have to adapt. You have to be there for them. You know, without a doubt, raising a child is hard. I mean, look, when I see stay-at-home moms, and, you know, I'm like, that's the hardest job on the planet. That's the hardest job on the planet. I mean, that's the hardest job on the planet.
And now there's a lot of people who obviously, you know, during this time are doing the homeschooling, the virtual schools and stuff like that. And what becoming the teachers, you have so much more respect now, I think, you know, with the role of teachers and different, and of course, the first.
One thing I wanted to tell you, Andrew, is starting, I believe it was yesterday, was Nurses Week. It's like an appreciation for nurses. And we're doing something really special at Cone Health here for all the 730 nurses who were there, and really excited to be able to do that. You know, a lot of them are not getting a chance to get home and pamper themselves and things like that and work on their own. So we're sending over a bunch of special products to each one of those 730 people, Market America products like Lumiere and Royal Spa, and just so they can have a day to pamper themselves and stuff like that. So we're putting that together and bringing it. It ends on Tuesday. Next Tuesday, we're going to send something over there as well for them and give each and every one of them a special gift from us.
I didn't realize it was I knew yesterday was the National Nurses Day and showed the appreciation and respect, but I didn't realize it was the week, and I didn't realize we were doing that. And I think that's very, very special because they're it's well deserved. I have the utmost respect and appreciation and gratitude for not only nurses, but of course all the first responders.
Totally.
It's just remarkable who've become heroes now, right?
Oh.
We've redefined who a hero is, Mark. And so a couple more things I just want to discuss, then we'll come to an end here. But when you think about, you know, all the events and occurrences and things that have transpired over the 28 years, what's a funny thing that happened? Anything that kind of sticks out as a funny, strange experience that happened to you?
Oof, man, that throws me a curveball. Oof, man.
I have one. Because I think I have it right.
Go ahead.
Now, I don't know where you were, but you were the guest speaker at whether it be a local seminar or a district seminar.
Yeah.
And didn't you get stuck in an elevator or something like that?
Yeah, I was in Cincinnati. Yeah, I try to forget that. That's probably why it didn't come to my mind. Remember, I told you earlier I get claustrophobic, right? I mean, like, I can be in planes, I can travel, all that stuff, but close areas. So I'm at a local in Cincinnati, Ohio, many years ago, and Jared was actually coming too. He wasn't there yet. And it's getting close to lunch, so I go up to my room to go to the elevator, go up to my room, and I'm speaking after lunch, right?
Right.
Go up to my room, just last-minute preparations, get something to eat, come back down, I'm ready to rock and roll. I get stuck in the elevator. And I'm not talking about getting stuck in the elevator for like 5 minutes. I'm talking about getting stuck in the elevator for 2.5 hours.
Oh, geez.
And yes. Now, here's the crazy thing, and I'm a bit claustrophobic very easily. So right when they're ready to open up the elevator doors, but I can't get out, I'm stuck in the worst place. If you're stuck between floor 1 and 2, you could usually at least see out and like see something. I was stuck between the mezzanine and the first floor, so when they open up the door, all I see is bricks.
Right.
I'm freaking out.
I'm sure.
And then 2.5 hours later, they finally figure I'm just freaking out. I'm on the phone the whole time, freaking out. JR comes to the event, wanting to catch up with me, not realizing that I'm stuck in an elevator, right? And he had said, he goes, I thought it was weird that there are tons of police officers and fire engines that were coming, fire trucks that were heading to this hotel. He thought something was wrong. Well, come to find out, they were trying to pull me out of the elevator.
Well, yeah. Sorry I brought that memory back to you, though.
No, I forgot about it, and you brought it back up.
Anything you're afraid to do. I know you'll make things happen no matter what, but anything that really scares you or something you're afraid to do.
I really don't like heights that much. I have no problem flying, no problem getting on roller coasters. As long as I'm, locked in, I'm good. But I'm not that guy who's going to climb up a ladder and get on a roof. That freaks me out. Anything like, I'm not the guy who's going to go really like mountain climbing and I can see down. It's going to freak me out. I can't do that. I would love it. I mean, I can go on hikes as long as they're, they go steady up, but it's something like a cliff like this or whatever, it ain't me.
I hear you. I'm kind of the same way. What's the one thing you do religiously that would surprise people, do you think?
Well, one thing that I do every single morning, first thing I get up is I read every single unfranchised owner and customer review that comes in our sites. That would be for product reviews, that would be customer reviews, that would be reviews on search, any kind of experience they've had with the company. The first thing I do religiously every day, I'll be on the treadmill before I get with my trainer, I'm reading these things. And I just want to stay in tune with what people are doing. And I take to heart everything. When I see something, if there's an experience that an unfranchised owner or customer have had that's not good, I always say to myself, I don't put a Band-Aid on. I'm like, what could we have done differently to change that experience? Because that's what we've got to do going forward. We can't let that happen ever again. And yes, people make mistakes. I mean, we all do. We all make mistakes, but we got to learn from them. What can we do better so it doesn't ever happen again? And learn.
That goes back to what, in the very beginning, the passion, the dedication, the commitment you have to excellence, that's just reflective of that practice right there.
Yep.
In the reviews. A fictional character, who do you think who you identify most with as a fictional character?
I would probably say Batman. Sure. I love Batman as a kid. I always wanted one of the Batmobiles. I mean, he is like cooler than Kool-Aid. I mean, this guy's, Batman, that old Batmobile back in the day, and then seeing the movies, he could fix anything. He could take care of anything. He was a leader. I mean, then you see the movies that come out. I mean, Batman's the king of he's
great choice.
Top.
And lastly, Mark, can you tell us?
This is the last question?
This is the last question.
All right.
Is that right? This has been
perfect. I've enjoyed the time with you. Last question.
One of the best episodes we've ever had. Tell us something about Marc Ashley that we probably don't already know.
Oh my goodness.
You've told us a lot about you. I think people got to know you a lot more during this episode, which has been great.
Let's see. Okay. I think I maybe have one. Well, I do have one. One thing that people, you said, probably don't know about me.
Don't know about Marc Ashley, right.
Okay. Well, I got one that I think will probably surprise them. I'm actually, believe it or not, I think I am. I don't know if it's probably self-proclaimed, but I am, I think, a very good rapper.
Okay. You mean like Nas, Jay-Z, Fat Joe?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt, baby. Without a doubt.
Right up there with these guys.
Well, I mean, proof is in the pudding.
Well, if you, I was just going to say, you can't say that without. Could you maybe give us a rap here? You mind doing that on the air?
Well, first, let me just show you this.
I don't want to put you on the spot, though. Don't feel pressured.
Okay. You really want me to do a rap?
I'd like it. Listen, I mean, if you can hear the audience right now, I'm sure the viewers would love it. Yeah.
All right.
You are the president and COO of MarketAmericanShop.com.
All right, let's see. Let
Saying
me
you
think.
can rap.
Let me
You
see
going to
here.
show us
Okay.
something there?
I'm ready.
Okay.
All right, I'll do it.
Here we go. Here we go.
Mark is the king of rock. There is none higher. The sucker MCs, they call Mark Sire. To destroy my kingdom, you must use fire. I will keep rocking until I retire. I make the crowd go in. Or so.
I'm sorry.
Hold the applause.
I'm
Okay.
excited.
Don't interrupt. Okay. Make the crowd go insane. Don't use cocaine. I like to travel a lot because I travel by airplane, sitting by the window, sleeping with a bimbo, giving you a shock like your life was in limbo. Too hot to handle, hotter than a candle, sloppy like Oscar, but neat like Tony Randall. My rap is inconceivable. Andrew, it's unbelievable. To me, it's easy, but to you, it's unachievable.
Well done. Well done. That's amazing. I'm glad we got that on camera.
I mean, you know.
Captured that one. It's beautiful. Beautiful. Are you going to show us?
Hold on, just to prove that point, I don't know if everyone can see, but this was a platinum CD that I came out with.
M.A. Guns.
Called M.A. Guns. This is before I was president, and it's COOing. M.A. Guns COOing. Maybe I'll bring that a little bit closer.
Very strong. Very strong.
So, most of you probably never knew that I could rap. You know.
You just demonstrated it beautifully there.
Or if you want me, I'm going to one more if you want to finish it out.
Listen, I mean, I'm sure, yeah, why not?
This is an old one that I used to do when I was in school. I'm rough like Hunter, clever like MacGyver, rock the Michael 24/7, no spit saliva, cold like ice, hot like fire, giving you a shock like a plug and a wire. The crowd goes crazy when the mics are Martin, because I'm like RoboCop, and Andrew, you're a regular man.
That's awesome, Mark. That's awesome. We appreciate you, Mark. We love you. We respect you. And thank you for coming on the Andrew Weissman Show. Everybody out there, please continue to stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy. And Mark, I know we'll just continue to do our thing and moving this business forward and continue to grow and help other people along the way.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody. Thank you.